Now let us continue Game 3 of Hat-Trick League between Striking Sinu team versus Nudging Nawaz team. Up to now, Nawaz won 2 games and out 2 players. So he is an hat-trick. Third game he is going to play against Mahesh. If Mahesh wins, Nawaz lost his hat-trick chance. If Nawaz wins, immediately he will get the hat-trick and he will become hat-trick hero of today. So Mahesh is very good player. So if he win now, he too has chances to do hat-trick. Let us watch. Nawaz, he started move pawn to d4. Then Mahesh, he moved pawn to d6. Then Nawaz immediately pawn moved to c4. Then now Mahesh, he moved pawn to d5. Then Nawaz pawn to e3. Yes, he captured with pawn another pawn at c4. Then immediately he captured pawn at c4 by bishop by Nawaz. Both players are talented. So this game is very crucial for Nawaz to get the hat-trick. Then he moved pawn to e6. Then immediately Nawaz, he jumped his knight to f3. Now he too jumped knight at f6. Then immediately Nawaz jumped his knight to c3. Then he giraffe jumped to d3 by Mahesh on black side. Now Nawaz turn. So far 6 moves over. Within 70 moves Nawaz must win. Otherwise black side is the winner. He moved bishop to d2. Giraffe captured knight at c3. There is a threat to Giraffe from b2, but with the bishop he captured Giraffe at c3. Now Mahesh turn. So far 7 moves over. He jumped his knight to e4. Now Nawaz, he moved bishop to d3. Then immediately has taken knight back to f6. Then he has taken jumped Giraffe to g1. Total 10 moves over on white side, still 60 moves left to win. Nawaz to be hat-trick hero. Now he jumped Giraffe to c3. Both players are playing neatly. Then he moved bishop to b5. Now Mahesh, he moved pawn to a6. Now Nawaz turn, 11 moves over. This is the 12th move. He moved bishop to c4. Now he moved pawn to b5. Then immediately bishop moved to e2. Then Giraffe jumped to f5. Very fast movings between two players. Now Nawaz, he is thinking which is the best move to do hat-trick. So he moved bishop finally f1. Now Mahesh, he jumped his Giraffe to c4. Then he captured the Giraffe with the bishop at c4. Immediately he too captured with the pawn at c4. Then he moved queen to a4 and check to black king. First check. Then he removed check by queen moving to d7. Then immediately he captured pawn at c4 with queen. Nawaz. Total 16, 17th moves over. Now Mahesh, he moved bishop to b7. If Mahesh wins this game, still he has 2 more games to play and he can get a hat-trick also. Both players have a hat-trick. So Giraffe jumped to d2 by Nawaz. Now Mahesh, he moved bishop to d5. Nawaz, in the first game, he out Srinu by checkmate. Second, he out Jaybargav Reddy by timeout. And third game now he is playing. So he is an hat-trick. He moved finally queen to e2. Now there is a chance to capture. So he captured knight at f3. Then immediately he captured with the queen bishop at f3. Now Mahesh is very talented. He can has hat-trick chance today. Knight jump to c6. Then Giraffe jump to d3. Very fast moves between them. without delay. So for 20 moves over, 21st move, he jumped knight to e2. Then queen captured all the way, rook at a8 and check to black king. Very good move by Nawaz. Yes, by keeping knight at c8, he removed the check. Mahesh, good move. But let us see Nawaz what he will do. Definitely will capture. Yes, he captured the pawn at a6 by the queen. He is on strong command. There is a threat to knight, but it's not that much threat. Supporting piece is their queen at c8. Yes, knight jump to e4. Then he moved his queen to a4. Now there is a chances to queen, power loss if Mahesh. Otherwise, so there is a pin. Whether he, yes, he captured the queen at a4 again. Queen captured by giraffe at a4. Then immediately captured that knight with knight pawn at c3. Then that pawn with knight he captured again. Then knight jumped to b6. Both of them they lost the queens, knights. Now giraffe jumped to d3. Then knight jumped to c4. This is a threat to white giraffe at d2 with the knight. But he moved king to e2. Now bishop, Mahesh moved bishop to e7. Now Nawaz turn. More chances to become hat-trick today. Nawaz, he removed rook to b1. Mahesh little bit struggled. Then moved king to d2. But still he is playing off his intellectual capability. So pawn moved to a4 by Nawaz. In reply that rook moved to a8. So this is the physical sport what you are watching. Giraffe chess, Indian born. No draw, no resign, only win or lose by catching the king and reaching the king, opponent king. Only two things. We have to block the opponent king or we have to move all the way opponent side king. Giraffe jump to e5 by Nawaz. Now Mahesh turn. So he has powers. Finally, he decided to move knight to a3. Now Nawaz turn. Nawaz playing cleverly. There is a threat to rook. Rook must move. Yes, he moved rook to b3. Besides to knight, get the advantage. Then immediately Mahesh moved pawn to f6. Now Nawaz is going to use giraffes. Yes, he used giraffe and jumped to b4. Mahesh again he jumped his knight to c2 and create a threat at e3. There is a pawn is there, but he moved king to d2. Threat to knight. Now he can capture giraffe is there at b4 with knight. Yes, he captured giraffe with knight at b4. Immediately captured that knight with pawn by Nawaz at b4. Now pawn move to e5. Pawn move to d5. King move to d6. Pawn move to e4. Pawn moved to e5, f5. Then pawn moved to f3 by Nawaz. Now Mahesh. He moved finally pawn to f4. Then rook moved to c1. Both players, they are moving here and there their pawns and powers. Again pawn moved to g5. There is a chance to capture pawn at c6 or check. Let us see with the help of Giraffe. Yes, he kept rook c6 and check to black king. Then king moved to d7. Then again pawn moved to b5 by Nawaz. Now Mahesh turn. Now strategic advantage. Nawaz came to the in the game. So he moved pawn b5, then immediately pawn h5, rook c3 by Nawaz. Then king moved to d8. Yes, he captured the pawn at c7 with the rook Nawaz. Immediately he moved bishop to b4 and threat to rook at c3. Now Nawaz turn. Nawaz he moved his rook to c6. Oh, bad move, but immediately captured by that rook with the bishop. Again bishop captured by the king by c3 at c3. Then king moved to d7. Then king moved to b4. Now Mahesh, he moved his both players. King Mahesh moved his king to e7. Then pawn moved to a5. Then king moved to d2. Pawn moved to b. Now rook moved to b8. Then pawn moved to a6. So far 48 moves over, 49th mover by Mahesh. So pawn finally moved to g4. Maybe a captures there. Yes, he captured pawn at g4. Immediately he to capture pawn at g4. Again immediately with Giraffe he captured the pawn at g4. Now Mahesh turn. He moved his pawn to f3. Then immediately captured that pawn at with f3. Now king moved to d8. Then pawn moved to a7. So now Mahesh turn. In this game no resigns, otherwise players will resign. So must result has to come. He moved his rook to a8. Then pawn moved to b7. Now Mahesh, let us see what he will do. He moved king or rook or capture pawn at a7. Let us see what decision he will take. Yes, finally he captured the pawn at a7 with rook. Then immediately pawn promotion at b8. So he has taken the queen by Nawaz, check. Then he removed that check by moving king to d7. Immediately he captured that rook at a7 and check to black king. Then king moved to d8. Yes, almost he is going to Mahesh is going to out. So king queen moved to c7 and check. Then king move to d9. Then king rook move to d6, again check. Then king move to e8. It is become a hat-trick game for Nawaz. He moved queen to d7 and check. Again king moved to f8. Now rook, he moved to king at e9. Then rook moved to f7 and it is a stalemate win. No move for king. Other pawn is there that also blocked. So it is the time all the players are congratulating for hat-trick hero of Nawaz. Very good game. Nawaz became hat-trick hero in this game. Congratulations, Nawaz.